Dennis. So I am passing out some handouts. And in these handouts, you'll find a summary of the meetings with the film commissions and film schools. I had meetings with them. You'll see a support letter from Local 477, which is a motion picture studio mechanics. Support letter, one of many, from a local resident. An email from John Lux with sample funding levels, a list of film incentive program summaries from other counties, the map that was on our slide of the incentive programs of Florida, and a list of companies listed on Orlando Film Commission website. It doesn't have all the companies that are in Orange County, but the ones who at least requested to be on the website. So there's probably about 25% more companies out there in Orange County in the industry. I also handed out an invoice from Visit Orlando on some advertising, and I will go over that in a second, and also some requirements that I felt should be in the film incentive as well, which the work group can take a look at. So I will like to say that people in arts and culture do it for passion. I mean, I have to say I've never seen a group of public comments that moved me. And I think it's because I could see just the passion that they just spew out. And it was so intimate and so heartfelt. And it was in support of something rather than against something, which you don't get that many, people coming to speak in public comment for. So, you could just feel it. And I'll say that the arts is a way, for me, growing up, was a way for me to escape neglect and abuse that I was experiencing in my childhood. And, I wrote poems, I painted, just the arts was my escape. I loved to read stories, watch movies. So I was always in, the arts was something I always was interested in. And my grandfather, sorry if I cry, he had passed away, but he would always tell me that you could do whatever you put your mind to. So growing up in poverty, though, they wanted me to become a doctor, so it's like, well, maybe a psychiatrist. It was a terrible idea, though, because I faint at the sight of blood. So I moved to Orlando because of Disney. I loved Disney. I was a fan of Disney, me and my now husband. And we were going to have our first child. And at that moment, it really hit me that how can I raise this child doing something I'm not really passionate about, going to, medical school, and decided to change my major to go to film school and go to Valencia Film School, because that way then I could look at my child and tell that my child, you can do whatever you want, whatever you put your mind to. So my first child was my inspiration to change my major and go to film school. So I did go to Valencia Film School, which is one of the best film schools in the country. I am biased, but I will say that even Steven Spielberg had said it at one point, so it must be true. And so after that, I had a choice, of moving to LA or staying here. And I chose to stay here. I love Orange County. I did not want to move to LA. And I ended up starting a business, a wedding business, doing videography, which became a very successful wedding business. Ran it for 10 years, loved the marketing of it, then I did go to UCF for English, creative writing, then went to Full Sail for internet marketing. And after graduating from Full Sail, I actually worked there as a career advisor. And I was the career advisor for internet marketing, but the one who was doing the film program had resigned. So I took on the alumni from the film program. And this was in 2016. And the reason why I'm telling all this story is because in 2016, when I was in that seat, we lost the film incentive for the state. And I started getting all these phone calls from all the alumni living here in Orange County saying, what am I going to do now? Should I stay in Orange County? Should I move? Where should I move to? And so at that point, I had to tell them, well, we have LA, Hollywood, if you want to go to California, or at that time, New Orleans was picking up a lot of their film business. So I said that was another choice for them. And Atlanta, because Atlanta started picking up some of the business as well. So those were the three main options that I was giving people to move to out of Orange County because we lost the film incentive. So I will say that the arts in our community really helps with mental health. You know, like I just said in the beginning, you know, that the arts really helped me when I was going through a tough childhood. You know, the arts really does help us with our mental health, and that's something definitely we need. It brings people together. It's so needed in our community. And, you know, film is an art, and I think that's forgotten sometimes. You know, we think of theater, we think of the beautiful paintings we see on the walls of art, but we forget that film is also an art. So that is part of our arts and culture. And film is suffering here in Orange County. I mean, it needs support. And the benefits, I mean, the economic development benefits are an immediate impact to our economy. Someone comes here and they film. Right away, all that money is spent here. Hotels, restaurants, furniture, makeup, everything you could think of is, you know, spent here, an immediate economic impact. Also is high-paying jobs, which we heard, you know, which the mayor had commented on. So it brings, you know, high-paying jobs in tourism. So it does fill the hotels immediately, but in the back end afterwards, when people watch these TV shows or these films, we get tourism coming in because of them on an ongoing basis. And so, you know, so it's definitely a no-brainer when it comes to economic development and tourism. I do have the invoice. I'm going to go to that now. The reason why I brought up this invoice was just to compare. So in this invoice from Visit Orlando, they had spent $250,000 on an advertising package that has 10.2 million impressions. Now compare that to the sample incentive program that I had passed out, which will be maxed at 175,000 and requiring 300 million viewers for that project. So you can see how just in one film, you're getting way more for your buck than you'll get from an advertising package that we're currently paying for. So, you know, it's a no-brainer, and I want to thank the board for your support, and definitely want to say that we have, and the mayor mentioned a lot of the benefits that we do have here already with the investments of the studios, the companies, just the workforce, and we can so easily become the next East Hollywood, so easily. And I am so excited, you know, about this and to where it's going to go and where we're going to be in a couple of years. Also, I do want to say with this work group, I do want to add that perhaps to that, and it just came up yesterday when the union came to the Sunshine meeting, that perhaps the union should also be included in the work group. So I would like to add that to the work group. And I would like to make a motion to go ahead and move forward with the work group and add the Union Local 477 to it.
Wilson.
I'm going to focus on, as part of the economic development strategy, is the film industry in action item. The film industry helps to attract creative talent, promote local businesses, and showcase Orange County to the world and create jobs. Our unique attributes make Orange County a logical location for film production. The county should explore establishing a film incentive program to attract creative talent, promote local businesses, and showcase Orange County's unique assets. Statewide competitors with film incentive offices and programs include Broward County, which is where Fort Lauderdale is, Duval County, where Jacksonville is, Hillsborough County with Tampa, Miami-Dade County, Palm Beach County, and Pinellas County with St. Petersburg. Here's a map just highlighting the jurisdictions I mentioned earlier. Of course, City of Miami Beach also has a film incentive program as well, and each one has different incentives that they offer. The only one that I do want to point out is Hillsborough County, which utilizes TDT funding for their film incentive program. So One of the recommendations is to form an Orange County working group with subject matter experts. This would include not only Orange County, but Disney, Film Florida, Full Sail, Orlando Economic Partnership, Valencia College, Visit Orlando, Universal, and University of Central Florida. The working group would evaluate opportunities and make recommendations on how to proceed, who manages the program, required staffing, annual cost of operations, incentives to be offered, cost of incentives, and total costs per year, and partners. At this point, I'm going to turn over to Commissioner Bonilla, who has a film report in addition to mine.
I did want to add a little here. Over the weekend, the Christian Film Festival was in town, and I had the opportunity to go and be a part of that on Saturday and give them a certificate from Orange County. And it was incredible. It was at the Wyndham on Sand Lake and I Drive. And the amount of talent, and when I was talking to these folks, they came in from Brazil, California, Mexico, and they even had international press here covering this event, which, by the way, has been coming here for 12 years. And this is the first time I ever found out about it. And it was so impressive. And then I was meeting these young actors, 10 and 13 years old. It was just in awe, the diversity and the talent and the passion that these people had. I mean, they had workout, not workout, wasn't working out, but like different feedback, different support. And they, when you look at historically, and we've heard some of these comments earlier, without aging myself, I too was one of those people who would, when I was in high school, go to the Mickey Mouse Club and do back, the fill-in and Hulk Hogan's show, Thunder in Paradise. We won't get into that, but yeah. Yeah, and I had an agent. Yeah, I had a dream once. But I think when we saw what happened with the state of Florida and that lack of support in some of these industries that came in and really put in so much, my husband Kevin actually auditioned for Keenan and Cal on Nickelodeon back then. And so there was so much growth and potential. And I would love to see what that looks like. I've also gone to Georgia and gone and seen the set of Walking Dead. And I've gone and seen the set, and not for me, but for my daughter, for Stranger Things, where they did everything. You could go to the site and see everything. It was electrifying because there was just such an excitement around it. And my whole point was, we went to Atlanta to fulfill my husband's bucket list to go see The Walking Dead, and my daughter's bucket list to go see Stranger Things. They just both happen to be in the same town. So I believe it brought us to go and stay at an Embassy Suites for 3 days and everything else. There is, and just recently I was watching Good Morning America, and they talked about Philadelphia, the Rocky Stairs, and how it's one of the most highly visited locations where everyone does, they made it up. So, but more than anything, there's a talent base behind this. That was what was most intriguing. Was I met all these producers and actors and everything at the Christian Film Festival, and it was just invigorating. The excitement, and they were all visiting, and they were. I used the mayor's line, "Thank you for visiting and spend lots of money," when I did speak, because he's notorious for telling people who visit us to do that. But they are. And so I would love to see what this looks like, because I think at the end of the day, there has to be a rate of return and all these other things that go with it. But I think that we saw a room of very qualified people. And I just want to say the older gentleman, the wrestler and everything, I could totally see him being Tron and Triton and the Little Mermaid live version. But, just great stuff. So I just wanted to show that. And actually coming from that industry and wanted to be in that industry when I was younger, I've seen it, and unfortunately that doesn't exist right now, what used to exist for me even in the 90s. So, thank you.
Well, Commissioner Uribe, I thought I was in that industry when I was a character at Disney. In either case, can you put up the requested action? Yeah. Just so we're clear, this is the motion, right, Commissioner Bonilla, that you're making? And,
yes, adding the union.
And Commissioner Wilson, that you're seconding. All in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The motion passes, and it is unanimous.